Okay, so let me just open up with a song. First, won't have anything to do with the class, but it'll have just a tiny bit to do with what I'm going to teach today. So I'm going to start off with something like this. All right. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hold the applause, please. It's a little cold in our store, so I'm going to put my jacket on if that's okay. All right, does anybody know the first song that I played?
Well, the name of it, I know the song.
Got
Anybody?
the world on a string.
I've got the world on a string. Jerome, can you keep an eye on the waiting room, please? I still see Steve, whoever that is. I don't think Jerome likes Steve. He doesn't want to let him in. You gonna let Steve in? Okay. All right. So yes, the first song was "I've Got the World on a String." Is my microphone too loud for you?
No.
Okay.
Your head's cut off.
My head's cut off. Oh, let me fix that for you. Yeah, I'll be the headless. That won't look too good if all you see is my.
Better.
How's
Thank
that?
you.
And you can still see the keyboards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And the second song, anybody know the second song?
Got the word on my fingers.
I'll play the melody. Night Train, right? Yes. Night Train. I'm going to have to keep. There we go. Now, this particular class, you're going to see a series of variety classes. When we first started doing Zoom, I can't remember when everybody joined with us, but my very first Zoom session that we did, we started calling it the variety class. And the reason why we did that was at the time, we were basically trying to get in touch with every student with all different models. And in these classes, what we wanted to do was give some instruction that I'm going to say 95% of the time, whatever we taught, we could apply to most models. Now, there are going to be some exceptions to that rule, of course. You know, we may mention a style that one instrument has, the other doesn't, or something of that nature. But we always try to find an alternative. So this year, it's been quite some time since we did a variety class. And since about almost 2 years ago, we've had so many new students coming along, and some with the smaller models, medium-sized instruments. So I thought I'd kind of do a fun variety class again and do something that's near and dear my heart. It's real simple, and if you could leave here with one thing, two things, three things, that's great. And I'm gonna feature a few songs today, and I'm gonna give you some ideas of kind of what I go through when I do what most people do. We find that signature style and we say, oh, this style works for that. And then I'm gonna tell you how you can use that for other songs. So the example that I opened up with is was I used a style called "Got Swing?" question mark. Now take good notes, but I will tell you I've got a handout that I will post on our Patreon of everything that I'm teaching today. Okay, and I'll screen share it once or twice. It may not be 100% complete, but mostly. So the style is called "Got Swing." When you hear the introduction to that style, most people that know the song "I've Got the World on a String" realize, oh, that's a great introduction for that. But it's not the introduction that you would know. It's the introduction, if you're from the Frank Sinatra era, the Dean Martin, that type, if you remember them singing those songs, they did it a little bit differently, whereas Michael Bublé had his version. It was still a great standard big band in nature, but that introduction was the Michael Bublé inspired introduction. All right, so I played the song "I've Got the World on a String" that obviously went well with that. However, I also went into another song like we typically do when we're playing a concert, and the second song I played was "Night Train." But when I hear a style like that, I always think, boy, I can. Here's the initial introduction. You heard Michael Bublé's version, that's almost identical to that. All right. But if you do the intro twos and do something totally different, you can play all sorts of great big band tunes. Don't get around much anymore, which I don't get around much anymore. There's another great song with that. So a lot of times some students are thrown off by these styles that when you hear them, they're perfect for a song, and then go, what else would I play with that? I'll do another example, then I'll get into the class that I prepared for you. Here's one that people very seldom use. But I'm not going to play the song that it's designed for, okay? I'm going to play something totally different with it because this style, if you don't use it properly, or not going to say properly, if you don't use it differently, you may potentially get stuck into, I can only use this rhythm style if I'm going to play this song. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play a totally different song, and tell me if you can guess the name of the rhythm style. It's on a lot of the Lowrey models, okay? Let me get it figured out here first. And it's right there. And I'm going to do this. And then, oops, rhythm preset. Okay. All right, so I'm going to play this song that's not designed for this style, but see if you can guess the name of the rhythm style. Here we go. Okay, does anybody know the name of the song?
Oh, how we dance.
The anniversary.
That's some of the words. The song is called The Anniversary Song.
Anniversary walk.
Not waltz, anniversary song.
Yes.
Anniversary waltz is a totally different melody, but that's common. But that's not the rhythm style I use. Believe it or not, does anybody want to guess what rhythm style I use? I'll give you a hint. It's a waltz. We'll start with that.
Bog?
Say it again.
Bog?
Nope.
What, something Latin?
Latin.
You would think. Are you ready?
Not
I'm going to play it as you normally would hear it. Are you ready for this?
Chipmunks.
Yeah, it's a chipmunk song.
Now that's the Chipmunk style's Chipmunk song. That's the same rhythm that I just used to play an inversion, but it sounded nothing like it. All I did was this. I put on the Chipmunks rhythm style, and I picked, in this case, I used a different preset. I just used 4. It doesn't matter which one you use. Just pick one you like. But here's the trick. I turned off the Orchestra Plus. Now I'm going to leave it on. If you do a minor chord, it's not going to sound so chipmunky, if you will. You can hear them in there, though, right? But watch what happens. I'm going to turn off the Orchestra Plus and now do the same introduction, and here we get. You would never know it's the chipmunk style. Okay? It wasn't part of my class today, but as I was thinking about it, I thought I need to share that, because if you like your waltzes or you're trying to find another waltz, put on the Chipmunks, turn off the Orchestra Plus, and then use your presets. Lock it in there, and it becomes another great waltz, and it's not terribly pa-pa. It's a little smoother, but with a guitar playing. All right? Now, let me get into the 3 songs that I'm featuring today. So technically, you're getting the bonus. I talked about Got Swing, and then I've also talked about the Chipmunks. So you get 2 extras there. So then we're going to talk about 3 of them. The one style, the song that I want to feature first is called Gentle on My Mind. Okay? Now, for some of you, and I'm looking on the screen here, and I can tell a lot of you have a rhythm style that's perfect for that song. And yes, that's our go-to, but I'm going to give you a couple options here what you can do with that style. And so what I'm going to do is give you an alternate style, especially if you don't have it. And then I'm going to give you alternate songs that you can play with these styles. Okay? So, when most people put the song Gentle on My Mind, and as you can see, it's a nice, simple key of C music. All right? Most people's go-to style, if you have it, is called Gentle Mind on the marquee, the grand marquee, and the aria. The symphony, because of the way it was designed, some people go looking for Gentle Mind, and they go, I don't have it. And it's there, but it's sort of retitled away, I think for legal reasons, but it's called Mr. Gentle Mind. Okay? Same style, just reworded a little bit different. So most people would do that, and when you hear it, you're going to, boy, that's perfect for that. Just like the recording. Okay, so obviously that's perfect for that song. And most people would say, well, then that's what I'll use every time. But if you're not careful, you might not get the full use out of that style. So I'm going to come back to that. Now, Robert, I don't have Gentle Mind or Mr. Gentle Mind. What's a good alternative? If you have that style, make note of this, because now you have another rhythm style that you can use. And it's kind of hidden in a way, because I don't know if it was designed for that, but I heard the late great Seth Rye do this, and he did this arrangement before the style came out, and I always asked him, how did you do that? And he'd kind of have some fun and try to keep it a secret, but he ended up telling me the style that he used and what he did, and it was perfect. So a lot of you have a style, write this down, it's called guitar standard. Okay? And if you happen to have an Estey, I know there's some Estey owners out there, it's called acoustic guitar. However, here's what you need to know. These styles are not designed, if you listen to this, it's kind of upbeat and, you know, it's moving. These styles that I just told you are not going to sound that way. They're done a little bit differently. Now listen, here is guitar standard. So if you have an easy 10, a fanfare, journey, or an instrument like that, or above, this is what you get. Now I'll put on the introduction. Actually, I'll just put the rhythm on. Now think about that. That's a very slow style, isn't it? Here is acoustic guitar on here. You can actually see it sounds very similar, right? Now, the trick to that is the tempos that just came up on those two styles is 140 and 150. The trick is put it up to a tempo of 200. Now, you may gasp and say, wow, 200 is really fast, but it's not the tempo that's fast. It's how you hear the beat. So I'm going to put it up to 200 or maybe even 205. And over here, I'll put, I'll do the same thing, 200 or 205. All right. And the only thing is, some of the organs that have the guitar styles, the drummer is not on. I would just make sure your drums is turned on when you do this. In this case, I'm just simply turning up the drum volume. Okay? Now watch. Here's the same style that you just heard at 205. Now, you can count this one of two ways. You can count it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's really too fast for me, right? Or 1, 2, 3, 4. You can kind of hear it, right? Even though it's a 205, it doesn't feel that way. This is how you count it. Works, doesn't it? Or over here, same thing, same style, similar style. I'll just pick up where I left off. Works, doesn't it? So,
Robert,
yes.
how high do you have to put the drum on?
As high as your ears says it's okay. Just enough. I put enough of a beat on there till I hear it. When I play, everybody's different. I typically put my drum and my bass up a little bit so I can hear the beat. Okay? But it really is up to you. You can also play without the drum if you want. It's a little harder for me to keep the beat though. Watch this. Here's the same thing without the drummer. Because it's just guitars, right? You almost have to really count, keep the beat. Now here's the volume up 5 notches. And that works. You can turn it up more if you like the drummer more. Yeah, to me, it's too much drums. There is no correct answer to that. It's whatever your ears say, that's enough drums for me.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? Now, I'm going to pull up a sheet on the screen. You're going to see basically what I just told you. But there's something else on here that I want you to see. All right? So you see the can you all read that there okay?
Yes.
I can zoom in a little bit for you, make it a little bit easier. So whatever I just told you is written here, and I'm going to get this posted on Patreon once I post the video. So you'll see here it says for the Easy 10 Fanfare Journey, Pop Guitar Standard is the one that you're looking for. On the Estey, I have the acoustic guitar under the country category. Sometimes you have to push the variations, the pianist guitars. If you're not sure where to find it, contact your personal assistant. The other thing is for those who have the more smaller basic models like the Easy 4s, 2s, and the SC Discovery, You can do the same thing by using the easy 8-beat, but the trick here that I don't have written on here is you want the tempo at about 200. You just count it differently than what it would come up to. The elite models, you can use anything that I just said here, but you can use Gentle Mind if you have it, or Mr. Gentle Mind, or the Guitar 4/4. There's another style called Guitar 4/4. But there's one little extra bonus here. And that is, a lot of times a style is designed for a song that you can use, but those styles work great with other songs, obviously. We've been doing this for years. So if you want to play a song like Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash, that Gentle Mind style is perfect for it. Or Dust in the Wind, I believe that's Kansas, a rock band that did that song. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Dawn did that once. But, you know, if I took this style, any one of them, you know, watch. I'll even do it on the little guy here. I'm going to take the screen off for a second. Watch. You have some fun with that. Now, if I take the style, the guitar standard, and I play without changing the tempo, if you're familiar with the song Dust in the Wind, it's actually a beautiful song. It works perfectly for that. I forget the melody, but anyway, if you find the song Dust in the Wind, it works perfectly for that. Okay? Now, everybody got what they need from that sheet there? Okay. Now let's do another one. This is a song that's near and dear to my heart. I just love the song. And some of you may know it. Your parents may have told you about the guy that recorded this. Anybody know the name Ray Charles?
Yes.
Your mom and dad may have told you who that was when you were growing up, right? And he had a lot of hit songs, of course. One of his popular songs was commonly known as You Don't Know Me, right? Beautiful song. This is a great song because anybody can play the song no matter what organ you have. Even if you had a 30-year-old organ, there's a style there. But I'll go in reverse this time. The first thing I want to say, if you listen to the song You Don't Know Me, it's commonly known as a 6/8 type style or a ballad triplets. And all that means is the beats can be counted a couple different ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the beauty of a song like this is a lot of the organs have tons of styles that count like that, but are different enough that if you play a different song with it, it works. But there's some of them actually say 6/8 ballad. Some of them say 6/8 piano. Some of them don't say 6/8, but they are actually a 6/8 style. And I'll get to that when I'm over here. So, when I think of a song like You Don't Know Me, let me take the music over here. I'm just going to use a plain and simple, what they call the 50s love ballad. Now, everybody has a 50s love ballad, I believe. Or if you don't have it, if you use just a simple 4/4 style like the mellow or the easy 8-beat or soft and easy, it'll work. But most people have a 50s love ballad type style. And on here, it sounds something like this. Beautiful, isn't it? I almost wanted to keep playing it. I love the saxophone on that instrument. So, and that is pretty much on most models, your classic 50s ballad. Now, I love the sound of the saxophones and the pianos for this song. So make sure to find a preset. Some of the 50s ballads put on a different combination with like a little bit of an accordion in there or something like that. Just make sure to choose a sound that works for you, okay? Same thing over here. If I come over here, I can also use just your classic 50s ballad, or here's a 50s love ballad on here. It's going to be similar. Now this one comes without a drummer. Again, for those who were asking about the drummer, I'm going to turn up the drummer a little bit. What volume? Whatever works for your ears. Here we go. Okay, so again, that works. Here's a style that some people cleverly use. Sometimes they mistakenly don't use because they think it's only perfect for the song that it's called. The name of the style is called Wonderful World. So obviously a lot of people go, oh, well, I can only play What a Wonderful World. Yeah, that works for that, but listen to the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Works. There's a lot of styles. Here's a style that some people, unless they really pay attention to the rhythm, they may not use it. This is kind of another one of those chipmunk moment where when I told you it was the Chipmunks, everybody had this look on this face, their face was like, boy, that was a shock, it was a surprise, right? So here, let me put it on. I'm not going to tell you what it is, and I'm not going to put the intro on because sometimes that's a giveaway. Let me find it. And I'm going to cover it up because I don't want you peeking. I'm going to see if you can guess this. If you guess the answer, you win 1,000 virtual dollars. You can use towards the purchase of your next organ. Okay, here we go. Now let's see. Let me pick a style. Oh, rhythm preset. Oh, put the wrong one on. Hold, give me 1 second, folks. That was not it. Here we go. Okay, so this one can work too. Some people are surprised when I tell them what it is. Here we go. Let's take it from another part here. Let's see. I'll just do it again. Here we go. Now you hear the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, or and if you look at it here, it actually counts in 3/4. Any guesses on what style that's called? If you've used it, you may recognize it. I could see the fumes burning. They're thinking. The style is called Holy Night.
What? Oh, gosh.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, if I put on the intro, if you have the style, you'll be familiar with the intro. Here we go.
Probably use intro 2.
It's just intro 1. You could use both on that, actually. Let's do it both ways. Jerome is saying use intro 2, but I wanted you to hear intro 1 so you could hear that's the style that I was using. Now watch. Do it with intro 1. And make it a symphonic version of the song. Or if you do the intro 2, you get a nice, totally different variation of it. Some people are surprised. Sometimes a simple style like that, you're not stuck playing Oh Holy Night. You can use it for so many different beautiful songs that are, and if you think about it, well, let me put up the sheet here and then I'll do one more example. Watch this. Let's see. Those styles, every style that I mentioned, works great with, and these are just 2 examples, hundreds of songs. Ramblin' Rose, I used to play and Jerome would sing that in some of our events, and I'd always have a 50s love ballad, a ballad triplets. Can't Help Falling in Love. You could use Holy Night with, listen. That's the Holy Night style, playing the song Can't Help Falling in Love. So if you find a style that is what we call a 6/8 time signature in nature, and the best way is when you listen to it, I'm going to turn on the style and then just let you listen to the drummer. Now listen to the drummer. So if you hear a drummer playing like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? There are many styles out there, but they're not labeled 6/8. It'd be a fun little task over the next week. Call your PA and see if they could find a style that's 6/8. Now I say a week because a lot of times when I say contact your PA, the PAs get called right away and they have no idea what I taught yet. So then they're calling me, what did you teach? I got everybody's calling me, and I have to send out the materials. But be kind of a fun little thing to do. It'd be a fun little thing to do for yourself, too. And the best way to find them is, obviously, the starting point is the ballad rhythm style button or the mellow or soft and easy category. But they're not always in the obvious places either. There's some in the pianist and guitarist category. You probably won't find one in the waltz, although waltzes have been known. There's a couple waltzes that have been known to be counted because 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 can be interpreted as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As in the Holy Night, if you looked at the style as it was counting, it actually counts 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or some of us just feel it like 1, 2, 3, 4. So a lot of styles that are perfect for a song can also be used for something else. Okay? before I do the final one, does anybody have any questions? Now, for those of you who have it, I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't show you. Now, I know some of you have the aria, also the symphony. There's a style actually called You Don't Know Me. So if you listen to the actual style called You Don't Know Me, it's the actual introduction and ending and arrangement like Ray Charles did it. So here we go. We got to give Ray a round of applause in his band. All right. Another one that I like doing a lot is a song called Cabaret. But not just because I like the song Cabaret, but I love a lot of the alternatives that I can play using the style or doing a medley with. Now, Cabaret is, now there is a style called Cabaret. Now I know some of you have it, but before the style Cabaret, we were playing the song Cabaret a lot over the years for our concerts, during concerts. Not all the time, but occasionally you heard it. And the question is, what style was used? Well, this is one of those styles that there's virtually a style, any rhythm or a song that's virtually, most models have a rhythm style that we can use. Okay, so there's some great alternatives, and then there's some great exacts, if you will. So the first one that I would recommend that virtually everyone has is a style called Frank and the Count, and that's on the Easy series, even our smallest Easy series. Obviously, it's on the larger series. The fanfares, the journeys have it, obviously. On the Estey, there's not a Frank and the Count style, but there is a rhythm style called swing time. Now, when I play the song Cabaret, it's a little faster if you're playing it in the kind of the version like it was really upbeat. So you may have to speed it up a little bit, but your Frank and the Count typically comes up to this tempo, about 140 or so. for me, playing at that speed is actually a little harder because I'm really trying to play it slow. Let's see if I can do it. It almost is a harder for because I played it so much at a faster tempo. But again, playing at your tempo is what's important. So for me, I would probably put it up. Let me get it, and let me tell you what it is. Let me get it to a speed that works great. Now that tempo works for me. Whether it works for you or not is another story, but I'm using Frank and the Count at 183. Okay? It may be 160 for you, but the caution I have is don't make it too slow because sometimes it actually is a little harder to play if you take it down too slow. Making it too slow can sometimes be just as challenging as making it too fast, so keep that in mind. Now, in the Estes, there's a standard button that comes up, and it's simply labeled swing time. And I'll try the same tempo here. Let's see, 180. Let's see if that works for this or not. Here we go. So there's a style for everybody for that song. Now I'll finish up with Cabaret, the actual style, in a minute, and then I have another little fun little trick. I've shown this once or twice over time, and then I'm going to put up on the sheet here.
Robert,
Yes.
I have one question. What other rhythm would go with Cabaret?
Swing
'Cause I love
time.
the song.
Your Lowry, I would put Frank in the Count. Also, Cabaret if you have it. Also, Vegas Big Band.
Oh,
I'll put on
Okay.
Vegas Big Band before I use the Cabaret style. Almost any big
Okay.
band style at the tempo that works, because most big band styles are kind of upbeat, but Cabaret is typically played a lot faster. So you got to choose the one that works for you. And I'll share Vegas Big Band in a moment.
okay.
In fact, I think I put it on this sheet here. Let me see here. Yeah. So you'll see I put the obvious choices for people who have the Estey, standard swing time.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, easy series. And when I say easy series, make a note, fanfare journey owners as well. Frank and the Count. Elite models. Now this gets a little tricky because there are some models that are not super high end, but it may have the Vegas Big Band. So you want to look on your instrument to see if you have this Vegas Big Band. And then obviously Cabaret was introduced in the marquee that was designed specifically for that song, but all of these will work. You heard me do swing time a moment ago on the Estey, and then on the fanfare I played Frank and the Count, but I put it at a tempo of 180. Okay? If you use Cabaret or Vegas Big Band, the tempos are naturally faster to begin with.
Okay.
And then you'll see that a lot of times I do this. I'll take these styles and I'll do medleys using these songs. The one that I commonly do is Bill Bailey and Cabaret together. And sometimes sing, sing, sing.
Okay.
All right? I see you writing, Sue, so I'm waiting till you get what you need.
Robert, I have a question.
Sure.
Are these things you're teaching is applicable to my old Royale in Arizona?
Yes, actually, Vegas Big Band was introduced on the Royale.
Okay.
Frank and the Count may not be, but you have, if you put on your big band button, there's probably like 6 or 7 different choices in there, one of which is Vegas big band.
Okay.
So the trick with this is over time, as organs were introduced, sometimes some models would, like our little small easy organ has a Franken the count, but the Royale doesn't. But the Royale has Vegas big band and the Easies doesn't. So that's why you want to write down all these styles, because sometimes, depending on the model you have, you'll find it. Now, Cabaret originally came out on the Marquis. That was exclusive to the Marquis, and then subsequently the Rialto, I believe, Grand Marquis, and Aria. And then when the Symphony came out, they added it to that one. So it's good to have all these choices because you have something that will apply to your instrument. Even if you had someone's listening and they have that beginner's model, one keyboard organ, you have something for everything that I taught today. Okay?
Okay,
Now,
thank you.
Now let me come back over here. So to address Sue's question and my answer, which was going to be what I discussed anyway. So before I do Cabaret, because I got a fun little trick before, when I end the class, I'll play it all the way through and I'll try to do it standing up so you can see everything. But Vegas big band is a style that a lot of the organs people have. If you put on the Vegas big band, it naturally comes up at 190. And if I just, it works perfect for this. So it works. If you use Vegas big band and you want to do a medley, maybe you want to do some, I mentioned sing, sing, sing. You could have a little fun with this. Or if you put Vegas big band on and put on your minor chord, sing, sing, sing. I play it in the key of, I play it in A minor. So it kind of gives you that feel. And another little bonus little trick, if you put on the drum variation, you'll get Gene Krupa with you. Watch. See how I use it for both. All right. And then, of course, I'll go back to Cabaret, that style, for those of you who have that. So you got, there's options for everybody. But before I play the song, I have a little trick that I'm going to share with you. But before I do all of that, does anybody have any questions, any other questions that for something I taught today?
Will all those be on the Patreon? I mean, all the tricks that you are teaching us?
Yes, the handout that you saw me
Specifically.
screen sharing, I'm going to post. The
How
one
did
thing,
you get the Ray Charles?
the Ray Charles,
Uh-huh.
the You Don't Know Me style,
Okay.
that was the You Don't Know Me style. Or if you don't have that rhythm style, the alternative was a 50s ballad or a 6/8 ballad. Some of them are labeled that way.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So the last little trick here, I'm going to get it set up, and then I'll just do a couple little quickly announcements, and then I'll play what I'm going to explain. So one thing you can do is, for a song like Cabaret, Bill Bailey works great because I play it in the key of F, and Cabaret happens to be in F. But one of the things I'll do is I'll set it up. Okay, so I got it set up the way I want. All right, so I've got my sound set up. And what I'll do is I'll put on the fake it. And the other thing I'll do is I'll hit the chord that I'm going to play first. Let's see. Here's the F chord. All right. And I'll set up the introduction. Now, get a little feel for this here. All right. So now my window says I'm on an F chord. It also says I also have the introduction set up, and I have the rhythm set up. And then what I'll do sometimes is I'll actually do the fake it before I do the song. So right now everything's set up for me to play, but what I'll do is I'll have the fake it set up, and I'll do a little fake it, almost like a clarinet solo before I play. Okay? So I'll show you that in just a moment, all right? So I'm going to say it again. Select the rhythm you're going to do first. Get your intro ready. It's important to have the chord ready. So if it says C and you're going to play an F, hit the F chord, okay? Stop it, reset it up, so your window actually says F in this case, all right? That's the important part. So everything sounds like you're not jumping from one key to the other. And then I'll demonstrate that when I play the song, okay? Before I adjourn, we thank you for today. Hope you enjoyed the class. Did you learn something?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, we did.
I do want to remind you that I will post this up on Patreon. It's going to be up in about a few days. I had a little logjam of classes, and we're starting to get caught up. So it'll probably be up there. I'm going to guess today's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It may not be up here till Tuesday, depending. I have a bunch of classes that Dawn sent me over the last few days. So her Monday or Tuesday, Tuesday class and Joni, so they're going to be posted each day. But when it is, I will have this handout will be there. Okay, it'll look just like this, and it'll look like what I was screen sharing for you. All right, so it'll have everything that we mentioned today. All right. The other thing is it's a brand new year, and many of you probably seen it, but I sent out an email saying we have new year, new deals, we have great opportunities, we have instruments that we've typically don't have in stock too. A Lowrey Liberty, believe it or not. Actually, I was going to play on our Grand Marquis today, but it got sold. So we're sold out of Grand Marquis, sorry. If you want one, we already have a waiting list. We have already 3 people on a waiting list for an aria. Those are hard to get. But we do have a Lowrey Liberty. Surprisingly, we have one of those available in each state, one in each. There's one Journey, I want to say. So just some unique instruments that represent phenomenal values. If you have an aria and you say, well, I have the top of the line already, we like to remind you that you have more than one room in your house. There's always good to have 2 organs in your house. Or you could do like some students, they have one in each house if they have 2 homes. Or you could just tell a friend. They have some great opportunities, and that is a great thing to do. So any of those apply. Reach out to your personal assistants. Don't be surprised if they reach out to you. If they call you 3 times in 3 days, it's because I'm saying, hey, Don, why don't you call so-and-so again, just to see if they're still interested. Hey, Jerome, call so-and-so, just to see if, because you never know, all right? It's how we keep all of this going. And Florida, be safe out there. Every time I turn around, I'm hearing somebody's getting sick with COVID out there. Everybody's getting COVID. It's like you're starting a new trend that I don't like to hear. So please be safe. Anyway, I'm going to finish up with Cabaret. I'm going to do the little introduction with the fake it, so pay attention to that. And last but not least, before I forget, this month you're going to see a sprinkle of variety classes with different teachers. And we're going to have some Zoom musicals we haven't done in a while. We'll have maybe in the very, very near future, within the next 3 or 4 weeks, another full staff Zoom concert. So we got a lot of fun things on the horizon. So just stay tuned into the emails. Be on the lookout. Check the website out frequently, okay? So here's Cabaret. I've got it all set up. I'm going to do the little fake it, but I'm going to do the tap version. I think Don calls it noodling. All right? So you can go. Oh, wait, let me turn on fake it. That didn't sound good. Here we go.
Robert,
Yes.
I have another question. You said you were gonna do the fake it button for the intro?
That's what I'm
What do
getting
you
ready to
mean
do.
by that? I
Well-
don't understand that.
Well, if you have a fake it button,
Yeah.
the secret before the fake it button is set up the rhythm, set it up like you're getting ready to play the song. Okay, so I got Cabaret or Vegas Big, but it doesn't matter. Pick the rhythm you're going to play, get the tempo, get it set up like you're set to go. Okay, and the other little trick to this is to make sure that if you're going to play the song, like this one happens to be in the key of F, I make sure that my window says F. If it does not, you have to press the F chord. All right, just stop it and then reset it. So now I have my rhythm style set up. I have my intro set up. It says F in the window. That's the important part. Okay. And now I have the fake it button on. Most people use fake it while the rhythm is playing. This time I'm doing it differently. I learned this from Paul Schaub a long time ago. I fake it on, and I'm just going to tap out a little bit on the top. Now, some of you have the auto fake it. You could just press and hold it. Some of you have, you know, the fake it where you can just hold it, or some of you have it to where you have to tap it. Okay. All right, so that's what I'm doing here. All right. So, whoops, hit the chord too prematurely. Here we go. And when you're done and you're ready, then hit the chord and let it play the introduction. So let's see if I can do this. And then let the intro come in. Turn off the fake it while it's doing that, so that way you can play. Thank you. Well, that was your virtual variety music class experience for today. So, with that said, thank you very much. Stay safe. Please stay safe. And keep
Robert.
playing
Thank you,
music.
Robert.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jerome.
Thank you,
Stay
Robert.
safe.
Good
Bye, folks.
ideas.
Bye, everybody. Keep safe and healthy and happy.